Alright, hi! I am back from my trip and I want to quilt. So, I have two quilt tops here that I want to start quilting on. I have an upcoming solo weekend trip, so I want to get these ready, which means I need to mark them up. Because whether I hand quilt or machine quilt, I mark my lines. I've gathered up all of my marking tools. I have a lot. And we're going to test all of those out to see which ones are going to work for my project and see which ones will work on all the different fabrics that I have. So let's do it. All right, I have marked up used up all of my tools here. I have them kind of lined up. We have some chalk. This is my very first one my mother gave me 1,000 years ago, probably when I was in high school. And then all the pencils. This is just a regular pencil. And these are all marketed as quilting marking tools, pencils, but they're different brands. So we'll see. And then here are the pens and markers. Now these are technically regular pens. They're the Frixion. There it is. Erasable pens. There's some controversy around those, so we're going to give it a try ourselves. Here's the Madame Sew's marketed marking tools. And then this is an old school traditional quilting marking tool for cloth. And then these are just washable markers that my friend recommended to me when I told her I was going to be quilting a couple of quilt tops. So, or quilt sandwiches, I guess. So I got the black, the pink, and the orange. And I have them all marked up here. Yeah, I have a big space there to show that that's where the markers start. I did just, thin lines like I would on the actual quilt top. So I'm going to use my little iron here first and see what that does. And then I'll take them over to the sink and give them a little bit of a wash and see what that does. And then I'm going to put them in the freezer and see if anything comes back. So I'll check in with you in a second here. All right, I'm going to try to do this one-handed here. Okay, we're going to press first. And really, I'm not going to go through my entire quilt and iron all these lines off. Really, I should just put them in do the little wash and dry scenario, but we'll start here. So I'm showing you a little bit of footage from when I filmed this yesterday and gunked up my iron. So nice little something interesting to watch while I do this. Yeah, I mean, just such a rookie mistake, but we all make them, It's just part of it. Okay. All right, so first assessment. The chalk one's still there. This one's mostly gone. And all the pencils are pretty much still there. Wouldn't you agree? And then for the pens and markers, obviously the markers are all still there because they are called washable markers, not iron away markers. Okay, the Madame Sew's marks are gone. And then the Frixion pens are gone. So I think the controversy with those erasable pens is that they leave ghost lines. So that's why I'm going to be putting those in the freezer too to see if extreme temperatures will make it come back or anything. So, and then of course this one's gone. So, next step is to take it over to the sink. In my very classy wash tub here, aka my husband's bathroom sink. I say my husband's because he uses his bathroom more than we do. We use the other one. Very grateful to have two bathrooms. Did not grow up with that, so it's very nice. I'm just kind of, I got a little bit of detergent in here, and it is lukewarm water. It is barely not cold. So, squish them around a little bit. Okay. Give them a rinse. Just like I do my clothes. Just like I would do my quilts. And let's go dry them off. All right, it's looking promising, yeah? So I'm just gonna dry these. I am so excited to get these quilts quilted and done. And that's going to help me get some of my more precious quilts out of rotation and give them a break. And I will be doing a video of the quilt repairs and the quilting I'm going to be doing. So stay tuned for that. Okay. All right, so this is what it looks like. Okay, so at first glance, all the pens and marks are gone. But most of the pencils are still there. I guess the chalk, let me see if I can tell which way is which. I'm not sure. Okay. So, but, well, the blue was first, wasn't it? I think it's that line, yeah. Goes like that. Now I can still see the blue line. All of this is pretty much gone. And I can still see the gray line. All the gray lines are still there. The yellow is gone. So, next step is to put them in the freezer and see what happens. All right, we're going to put these in here for a little while and see if any of the marks come back. So, and I'll check back with you a little bit later. All right, let's get these out and check it out. All right, let's go over the results. So, I tested all of these marking tools out. Some are marketed for fabric, some are kind of off-label use, i.e. they are regular markers and pens that people tend to use in the community for fabric. And I'm kind of showing you the footage so you can see that the pencils maybe aren't the best idea. Now, if you are really good at marking and kind of staying roughly in that marking area, meaning your stitches will cover up the marks, you could use the pencil. That would be fine. The regular pencil or the dedicated. Now, this actually did come out, but obviously you're not going to be able to use this on everything. This would be really good for dark fabrics because it does come out. So dark fabrics comes out just fine. Light fabrics, you're not going to be able to see it. The gray pencils. Now, I saw a big difference in the quality of the different pencils. I'll talk about the regular pencil in a second. I think two of these are the same. Yes, these two are exactly the same. Style, brand, whatever. Now this gray one is the same brand as the yellow. I found these gray ones to be a lot smoother than this one. Now, how did they come off? They don't, really. This was, ironed washed, dried, and froze, and they didn't come out. So, not real sure about that. That's, you know, you might as well use a regular pencil. You know, this is just a regular old pencil. You know, like I said, if you don't necessarily need them to come out completely because you're going to be stitching over them, i.e. like embroidery, or this is all you have, then absolutely use it, you know. But if you really need a precise line and something that will go away and not come back, I would look to, let's see, I think my winner for me is going to be the washable markers. Thank you, Sue, who suggested that I use those. She does a lot of hand quilting, and she recommended just these Crayola washable markers. And even with the black, dark colors, and the light colors, they all came out perfectly. Now, not with ironing. I had to wash them and dry them, and they came out. But I put this in the dryer, and they did not come back. So, for me, it's the washable markers, which are, you know, obviously just regular markers. So they're going to be very versatile. They have a very nice thin tip, you know. Did anybody do this on YouTube anywhere? Put stuff in front of your hand so you can see it. They have a nice precision tip. They have a lot of different colors. And I bought this whole pack of them with all of those colors. I mean, I want to say it was like $2 or $3. So, for me, hands down, easy winner, washable markers. And again, you know, you can use them for all kinds of things because they are essentially washable. They are just markers. So, yay. That's what I'm going to use. Now, let's talk about the duds, the surprising duds. For me, these Madame Sews have always been duds for me. They were already in the dud pile. These are the only two I have left. I think the pack had like a red and a black. Maybe that was it. Now the white, I will say, the white, again, for dark fabrics, you could probably get away with using the white because, okay, so this top blue line is the blue one. And then right beside it was where the white one was. And obviously it's gone. So if this is what you have, white, you could use white. But problem I have with these, in addition to some of them coming out and not coming back and some of them not, is it runs out quick. I guess that's why they send you refills for them. And that's great. Yeah, there's a red refill in here, so there was a red one. But they are scratchy to use. They run out fast. And they're a little too specialty, and I don't even remember what I paid for these. I'm just not a fan. They just don't do it for me. So, those were definite already duds before I started this whole project. I knew those were not going to make it. But I had high hopes for the friction. Pretty sure it's friction, but that's the best I can do. So, anyway, these pens, erasable pens, again, they're just regular pens. They have the little erasers on the top of them. Come in a bunch of different colors, and I tried the blue and the green, and they go away with an iron. They do. They go away with an iron. You can see in the footage. They go away with an iron, but I put them in the freezer, and they came right back, buddy. Right back. Full steam ahead. Back. So that's definitely a no-go. It's very disappointing because I really wanted to use these because they have a nice, clean, precise tip, obviously because they're a pen, but they're real smooth. But they still have a little bit of grip, so good control. And, you know, but I was really wanting these to work, and I know there's a lot of controversy, and I guess all the controversy is true, and I don't want it to be true, but it is. So, these are a no. I do love these for paper. So, paper crafting, that kind of thing, they work great. So, again, and then this is one of those dedicated ones. I wasn't super impressed with this, and I wouldn't want to use this for a big project like my quilt tops. Simply because, I don't know, it's just too, I don't know. I don't want to use it. So, there's that, and then the chalk. One, this little wheel is great for smaller projects, but again, the quilt top is a little bit too big. And this one, my original one, it might be because this is so old. Might be because it's so old. I haven't used this in many, many years. But this line did not come out at all. Not even washing. It did not come out. So, yikes on that. I mean, it's chalk. So, it's a little strange. What else? I think that's about it. So, again, for me, winter washable markers. They are cheap. They are extremely readily available in store or online, which is important to me because I'm not always in the mood to order something, but I don't really live close to anything but a Walmart and dollar stores around here. Cheap, readily available. Lots of different colors for lots of different fabrics. And they absolutely come out. Oh, they have a nice little precision tip. They absolutely come out with washing, and they don't come back in different temperatures. So, I am pretty confident that I can use one of these lighter colors to mark the quilting lines for these quilts. What do y'all think? So, yeah, so here's my quilt tops. Check out, I will be doing a video of the entire process of quilting these, whether I decide to hand quilt or machine quilt, just on my domestic machine. I don't do any long arm stuff for various reasons. So, I'll be doing videos of these. Check that out. And thanks so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun, very different for me. And I hope to see you in the next one very soon. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.